Queen, I do appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, be mindful that I'm still in major adjustment mode with my wife not being here, unfortunately. I've not had a chance to move my office just yet. We have upstairs and downstairs. My office is downstairs, and I don't want my daughter upstairs by herself. That's where her bedroom is. I'll be checking in on her. She's downstairs with me in the bonus area. So I'll be checking in on her from time to time to make sure she's okay. And then hopefully over the weekend I'll get a chance to move my office so I won't have to worry about that next week. Okay. Also, my oldest son has been staying off and on with me. Boy, that has really helped him and me. And so he may give me a call or he may reach out to me to let me know whether or not he's staying here tonight. So if my phone rings and I have to take it, I just want to let you know that up front. I normally would not have my phone in here with me, so we wouldn't have any distractions. But it's a little bit different for us right now. Okay. All right. So let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Okay. Now, so for those of you that are not familiar with Tron Chain is what we will refer to as an everyday can be what? It can be payday system, okay? Don't mute out yet. Don't mute out so we can do it all right. Where every day can be what?
It can be payday, Professor.
There you go. There you go, okay? We've run across models like this in the past, and whenever we have found a winning model, it has been a huge, huge winner. I believe this particular model could rival something that we did back in between 2011 and 2012. And I'll begin to share that with you as to why I believe that. And back then, that particular model, we had folks that had never made money in the online space and the at-home space, at-home business space, marketing space. There's a young lady who comes to mind. She had been a part of our following for years, had never... she would, and we had been in network marketing, so we were recruiting teams that then we would be on auto ship or subscription, and then we would sell products and services to retail customers, and so on and so forth. So we had a monthly subscription with the company or an auto ship, and in most cases, she never made enough money to cover her monthly subscription or auto ship, and we're talking about years and years and years of this. Well, with that particular everyday can be payday platform, she ultimately got to the point where she was putting in her bank account somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,000 a week at her height. And we had some of our folks that did 6 figures and even had some folks that did 7 figures. But I like to bring that one up because she was the epitome of what I would call Joe and Susie average. Amazing person, an above average person, but when it came to making money from home, making money online, really struggled. Struggled at the recruiting side of things, struggled at the selling side of things. And I think that's where most people are probably, okay? So in any event, with that particular model, it went exceptionally well. In 2014, we started sharing another model. Unfortunately, I made a huge error. I listened to, I had an attorney at the time, and he said, yeah, you probably shouldn't promote that particular model. And so I just stopped promoting it. And I kick myself all of the time. That's my biggest business lament, is that I did not promote that with the vigor that we should have. And that model had a 5-year amazing run. One of our guys that said, well, okay, you're not going to promote it. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm going to promote it. That guy, about a year ago, reached out to me and said that he had become a multi-millionaire in the cryptocurrency space. That was a cryptocurrency Bitcoin platform. Now, it wasn't just because of that particular platform, but because of his exposure to cryptocurrencies, or what we call the Digi space, Digi for short for digital assets, He went on to do some other things, and in that 5-year period, he became a multi-millionaire. And this was not a guy who heretofore had been good at marketing or selling or what have you. We did have another Everyday Can Be Payday offer that came around in 2017. Unfortunately, they did something that is referred to as an exit scam. And so when that happened, I pretty much swore off ever doing one of these types of models again. All right. Yes, when we win, we can win really, really big. But, we don't want to see people get hurt and lose their money and what have you. However, something has changed in the marketplace since then. In the marketplace, there are, in the cryptocurrency space, there's something referred to as smart contracts. A smart contract, think of a contract offline, okay? Once a person signs the contract, all right, then it is now enforceable. With a smart contract, it's basically computer code, so it's programmed for things to work a certain way. And once it is deployed on the blockchain network, it cannot be changed. Now, here's the thing we have to caution is with these smart contracts, we've got to make sure that the developer of the contract didn't do some fishy stuff in the coding that allows them to exit scam. And so several weeks ago, I was introduced to two people totally independent of each other that are independent auditors of smart contracts. So what they're able to do is, what happens is if there's something that I'm interested in taking a look at, or something that we may bring to our audience, I hire the independent auditor who's got nothing to do with that particular project. They go through, they look at the code to see, is there an exit scam waiting to happen? Because if it's a smart contract, if there is no exit scam programmed into the code, then they can't exit scam. Okay. So there was a couple things I wanted to bring to our audience. This was several weeks ago. I went to our independent auditor. Our independent auditor said, no. There's an exit scam, and sure enough, that particular project exit scam, meaning that the developers basically stole all the money, left in the middle of the night. Well, we had this project weeks ago, independently audited. Again, we've got two independent auditors, independent of each other. They don't, to my knowledge, they don't even know each other. And this contract came back squeaky clean in terms of no exit scam. Now, I want to just talk a little bit about it, and then we've got to get into the training part. Give me just a moment. All right, so this is what I refer to as an everyday can be payday. Oh, come on, act right. Give me a moment. Platform. Here is the developer. His name is Andreas. I believe he's out of Sweden. One of the things I really appreciate about him is that he's very transparent. He normally does at least a live Zoom each week. If not, sometimes he'll do a recorded, some type of recording that you can find. So you can, find him and subscribe to his YouTube channel so you know when he's posting any videos. There's a very, very active community in Telegram. So you'll have all sorts of people there, assisting others. Just an amazing community. But what he's done is he's developing an entire ecosystem, a lot of different projects, some that have just launched. Because of what I've been dealing with the last 3 weeks, I haven't really been able to sink my teeth into a couple of the other projects that he's just launched. We'll eventually get there. But he's launched a number of projects that the design is for a portion of the income revenue generated from those outside projects are going to go into Tron Chain to help pay out the daily payouts that we have in Tron Chain. Of anyone in this space so far, this is the guy that I have the most level of faith and trust in. One, because he's in front of the folks. He's not hiding behind being in a cryptocurrency offer. Two, there's a book that I love to read. It talks about the importance of having vision. It says, as a matter of fact, if people don't have vision, they won't be successful. So it was important for me to see that this guy has a long-range vision for the entire ecosystem, and Tron Chain is the core of that. It's not the only part of the ecosystem, but it's the core of that. Now, one of the things we can do, because it's a smart contract, is we can check in on the relative financial health of the contract, okay? Now, if you are not familiar with cryptocurrencies, or you are not familiar with Tron, Tron is a cryptocurrency. I'll often refer to the cryptocurrency space as the Digi space, short for digital assets. Most of you have heard of Bitcoin, Ethereum. Let me tell you why you want to get into this space. Don't be intimidated by it, okay? My first Bitcoin transaction was back in 2014. $515 a Bitcoin. Hey, Foy Underwood, you remember that back then, right? $515 a Bitcoin. I haven't checked the price of Bitcoin today, but I know it's been hovering above $15,000 a Bitcoin. Hit a high back in December 2017 of about $20,000 a Bitcoin. Similarly, Tron right now is only going for like 2.6 cents, 2.5, 2.6 cents. But 52 weeks ago, it was 7/10 of a penny. So it's almost up 4 times in the last 52 weeks. So we definitely want to have a big a part of what we're doing business-wise in the cryptocurrency arena. Now, I want you to pay attention. Excuse me. Back on October the 16th, I did this screenshot. I went to Tron Chain and to look at the smart contract, because one of the things we can do is we can look at the relative health, financial health of the project. This would be like our being able to peer into the bank account of a marketing company that we were promoting. Now, why might that be important? Well, if we see that the bank account of ABC, a company that we're promoting, is steadily growing, we'd have more confidence that they're making good decisions, that the project or the company or what have you is going to be around for a while. Okay, we don't want something that's going to be here for 6 months or a year and then gone. Okay, that's what we're able to do with the smart contract. So by having a smart contract independently audited, number one, okay, and then number two, being able to check in on the financial health of that contract, that covers a lot of our bases as we go forward. Now, we had a project that we were very high on not long ago, and we found out that the structure of the contract, there was nothing wrong with the smart contract itself, but it attracted the wrong types of people. That's not the case here with Tron Chain. Okay, there's no situation where a person could come in, what we would call whales, that have a whole lot more money than the average person, and damage the platform. That can't happen because of the way that the contract is structured. Now, so let's take a look real quickly. So this was a little less than a month ago. All right, now when you're looking at the smart contract, you don't want to just focus where it says US dollar. All right, so it was $10.4 million in the contract about a month ago. Okay, and the reason we're not going to focus on the US dollar amount is because the price of the underlying asset, Tron, is going to fluctuate. So if Tron went down to 2.3 cents, then this would be way down, and we might be thinking that, oh man, the health of the contract is at risk, when it necessarily isn't. It was just that Tron was down. Similarly, if it was up to 3 cents, all right, this figure would be higher. What we want to focus in on is how much actual Tron is in the contract. So a little less than a month ago, there was 406 million Tron in the contract. Now, I did a screenshot. This was on Sunday, all right, the 8th, on Sunday the 8th, and you can see it went from 406 million Tron to 581 million Tron in the contract. All right, so look at this real quickly. So you had the other day when I looked at it, it was 581 million in the contract. Back on October the 16th, it was 406 million. All right, so that's a difference of 175 million additional Tron in the contract. Now, I'm going to show you in a few moments. Community members like you and I, we are withdrawing every single day. So we're withdrawing every day, every day, every day, every day. All right, I lost my wife 3 weeks and 2 days ago. And even when I was dealing with that, when we had to make the decision to pull her off the ventilator, I'm bawling, I'm crying, I'm grieving. I still got paid. I've been bawling and grieving ever since, and every day I'm still getting paid. Okay, and that's one of the reasons why during that time I was like, okay, I got to really when I'm ready to get back into the game, we got to really look at Tron Chain, because that's powerful, ladies and gentlemen. That the fact that you can now position yourself where when you have to respond to the weightier issues of life, you can do it still knowing that you've got an income stream that's going, okay? All right, so that times 0.026, that's $4.5 million added, still in addition for the contract, in less than a month, okay? Powerful, and people are withdrawing every single day, okay? So let's just do this real quickly. Let's see where the contract is now. So, uh-oh. All right, hold on for just a moment. That is my son. I thought he had a key. Bear with me. I'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's look and let's see the difference between where the smart contract is today and where it was just 4 days ago, okay? So we're going to come here. I'm going to go to where it says smart contract address. And so this is something you'll be able to do on your own. Look at this. 639 million Tron. This is Thursday, and this screenshot that I'm doing is from this past Sunday. It was 581. So look at this real quickly. 639, 455, 523. That's where it is now. And this is where it was the other day. We're talking Sunday, 581. $58 million difference. People are withdrawing out every single day. That's $1.5 million difference. Let me show you one last thing, and then we've got to move forward, okay? Right here, I want you to see where it says amount withdrawn by members. 1.3 billion. This was same on Sunday. 1.3 billion Tron, and this is since this smart contract was initiated back on July 31st of this year. Okay, so from July 31 until what was that? November the 8th. Okay, 1.3 billion Tron was actually withdrawn by the members, meaning it was taken out of the system. People were able to withdraw and convert that to spendable, usable cash if they wanted to. Okay, all right. So let's put that amount 1314 564136. I'm going to put this in my memory. All right. With Tron running about 2.6 cents a Tron. So from July 31 until November the 8th, which was Sunday, about 34 million Tron had been withdrawn by the membership, okay, by the community. All right. Now let's see the difference between that just on Sunday and how much has been withdrawn out now. So we go back. What happened? Where'd you go? Right here. All right, so this is what's been withdrawn out now. 1.51514321026. 1.5 billion, okay? Now, let's see how much the difference is between now and when we took that screenshot on Sunday, all right? Subtract out what I had in memory. Almost 200 million Tron has been withdrawn to community members like you and me, okay, at 0.026. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen, since Sunday. I pulled that Sunday about 12 noon, okay, my time. And so since Sunday, $5.19 million has been paid out, where people didn't just see money on the screen, but they were able to withdraw it. All right. And what we saw with that particular everyday can be payday system from 2011 to 2012, we know, based on some documents, that they had over $800 million still in the bank. Well, right now, this is only $16 million in the bank, meaning we got a long way to go. Okay, there's a lot of money that's going to be made with or without us. Okay, all right. So let me just share real quickly. By the way, I need to do a random giveaway. We put out a YouTube video, and we had quite a few views so far and some great comments, and we're going to give away 500 Tron. And so let's do that now. Let me do my random picker here. Give me a moment. Let me make sure I've got this doing right. Bear with me. Oh, what happened? Something's not happening right. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Let's see who wins here. Uncle Roo, did you give me... You didn't give me your Tron address. Uncle Roo, where's your Tron address?
He didn't really want the Tron.
Well, then I guess I'm going to have to give it to somebody else. Is he here? Is he here?
Well, let me see.
Uncle Roo, where's your Tron address?
I was really just teasing, but when the instructions were to put your Tron address in, right?
Well, yeah. Well, Uncle Roo, you got to follow the instructions. I love you. You know I do, man. Uncle Roo, I really appreciate those.
Sterling
Well, no, he sends me every couple of days. He sends me a pick me up a quote, and I really appreciate that. Jim Burrow, there we go, buddy. Hey, Jim. All right, so Joe said, hey, I'm sorry, Jim said, I'm a guy in my mid-70s. I need something that's going to accelerate things for me. Okay, so I'm going to do this right here on screen. We're going to go on and send Jim some... send him 500 Tron. And there you go, buddy. Congratulations. All right. Let me tell you a little bit about Tron Chain, so then we can get into the turbocharge strategy, okay? So me see what I'm looking for. Okay, so really quickly, Tron Chain is real simple, ladies and gentlemen. Think of it as a crowdfunding platform. Instead of having a GoFundMe page and you having to be responsible for trying to get people to get there, go there, and then contribute to your project, or we know that crowdfunding has come to the home business arena, but even with that, you still have to basically be a recruiter, all right, or for that to work out for you in most cases. This is different. You make a contribution to the platform, okay? You get paid 24 hours from that time. You get paid 1% of whatever you contributed in Tron, okay? So we'll show you how to take that from fiat money, let's say U.S. dollars, into Tron, all right? So everything is in Tron. So if you did, like, let's say 10,000 in Tron, all right, you're going to get 1% a day, and that would be 100 Tron a day, okay? 24 hours from the time that you made that commitment. And you're going to earn on that until you've earned a total of 310% or 3.1 times what your contribution happened to be. Now, if you never referred a soul, one, and you did not follow our turbo strategy, two, then you would earn that 1% a day for the next 310 days, or the 310%. Once the 310% is up, then if you want to continue to earn, you would have to make another contribution, okay? Pretty simple. Now, what we want to do is we want to condense how long it takes us to earn that 310%. And what I'm going to show you is that in time, you're going to get to the point, even if you haven't referred anyone else, if you follow our turbo strategy, you're going to get to the point in time that you're hitting that 310% every few weeks. Okay? So imagine earning 3.1 times your outlay, and then in time, hitting that 3.1 times your outlay in every few weeks. And if you follow our turbo strategy, your outlay will only be one time out of pocket. Everything else is going to come from profits. Okay? Now, so 1% a day. One. Two, on the referral side, when you refer someone, or let's better use this. Let's not say refer someone. Let's say refer a contract. Because with our turbo strategy, you're essentially going to engage in self-referring, which is allowed by the system. The system does not prevent us from being able to do that. But the way we're going to do it is going to be a win-win situation. It's going to be a win for you. It's going to be a win-win-win. It's going to be a win for you. It's going to be a win for the leadership above you. And more importantly, it's going to be a win for the entire community, because we want to make sure that we're doing things that help aid the community and not take away from the community, okay? So here's what's going to happen, for instance. Let's say you don't refer anyone outside, but you refer your own contract. You will have a main contract, and that main contract will refer what we will refer to as subcontracts, okay? So when that happens, let's say you referred a subcontract, and the subcontract had 25,000 Tron, as an example, okay? Well, then your main contract is going to earn 10% or 2,500 Tron, and that's going to be there right away, and you will be able to withdraw it, okay? And then the big bonus, the big prize is this. This is the matching commission, all right? This is the daily matching commission. So here's what happens. Let's say you referred me, okay? Now, my main contract, I did 20,000 Tron. You referred me. In my example, you would have gotten 10% or 2,000 Tron, okay? With my main contract, all right, and with any of our contracts, we're going to be withdrawing out of the system that 1% a day. Now, when we get to turbo, which we're going to get to in just a few moments, you're going to hear me say withdraw, you're going to hear me say cash out. They are not the same. Withdrawing simply means I withdrew it out of the Tron Chain system, and the money went into my my Tron wallet. You'll have a Tron wallet. We'll show you how to set all that good stuff up, okay? When I say cash out, I mean now we are converting that into usable, spendable cash. So on a daily basis, not every other day, not once a week, on a daily basis, we're going to go and we're going to withdraw our 1% a day. If you did 10,000 Tron, that 1% a day is 100 Tron. You can do as little as 100 Tron. You won't make a lot of money doing that because that winds up being like $2.60 worth, okay? But whatever it is, it's still 1% a day, okay? Now, when I withdraw, you referred me, I did 20,000 Tron in my main contract. You referred me, I did 20,000 Tron in my main contract, okay? So I'm earning 200 Tron a day. 20,000 times 1% is 200 Tron a day. When I withdraw that 200 Tron a day, you get a 30% match. So when I withdraw my 200 Tron a day, you get a 30% match or 60 Tron. Okay? Every single day. Every single day. Every single day. And how long am I going to be withdrawing out? Until I've hit my 310%. But when I hit my 310, do you think I want to stop? Or you think I'm going to make a new contribution, a recontribution, and even an upgraded contribution, meaning higher than my original amount, because I want to make more money? Which means you're going to earn every single day, every time I withdraw from my 1% income, all right? And that is going to be the power of turbo. That's going to be the power of turbo. Now I need to give the proper not disclaimers. I'll say disclaimers too. Well, I'll say disclaimers. Obviously, nobody's going to put money into the project that you cannot afford to lose. Can't think of the word. But this is not a strategy that I came up with. The gentleman's name is Carl. I forget his last name. Carl and I.
Fred.
Huh?
Fred.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to give Carl the credit because I didn't come up with this strategy. I do believe that we're doing some things to make some twists that will even make the strategy better for at least our audience. And obviously, again, I want to thank Ivy and I want to thank Kwame because they're the ones that turned me on to Carl's strategy. Okay? All right. So with that being the case, we're going to go to work. The first thing I want to do, bear with me. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to kind of show you a little bit about what I'm talking about, okay? So here's my main contract. I did 20,000 Tron, okay? So what happened when I did my 20,000 Tron, I'm going to earn on that 20,000 Tron until I hit 3.1 times that amount, or 62,000 Tron, okay? Now, if I never referred anyone, 1, if I did not engage with the turbo, 2, then I would get that 1% a day, 1% a day, 1% a day. In 100 days, I would have recouped my initial contribution. So this is not a bank where I can go 2 weeks from now and say, hey, I want my 20,000 Tron back. No, I get paid my 20,000 Tron plus much more with my 1% a day, 1% a day, 1% a day. I also get paid that if I engage in the referral side. By you leveraging turbo, you will be engaging in the referral side, even if all you ever did was refer your, what we refer to as subcontracts. All right, so now when you take a look here, you can see that I've got a next income countdown in 2 hours, 57 minutes, and 16 seconds. I'm going to get paid my 1% daily. Now, when I first set mine up, I set it up about midnight my time. I did not withdraw to today. Normally, that would be one of the first business things I do is I would go on and withdraw. I did not withdraw because I wanted to do that on screen. I wanted to show you that on screen, okay? I also wanted to show you that I referred somebody, and somebody, or maybe a combination of people, must have done 50,000 Tron. Why? Because this direct referral income is 10%. One person gets that, or one contract gets paid that. That's not split amongst multiple contracts, okay? So when you refer a contract, let's say when your main contract refers a subcontract, that's basically you referring yourself, okay? You are going to earn that 10%. That'll be for that particular contribution. Now, when that contract that you referred comes up for renewal and you renew it, you'll get paid the 10% again. Likewise, obviously, if you referred outside of our system, you referred John, Mary, Susan, someone outside of your own contracts, you'll get the 10% as well, okay? Matching bonus, what's that? Well, we've had folks in our referral network that have withdrawn, and when they withdrew, we got paid a certain percentage. If I personally referred them, I got 30%. If they were on my second generation, I got 10% of whatever it was they withdrew. Now think this through. They are paying us to withdraw. From the referral side, we make more money, not as people keep in the system, but as they withdraw. Queen. And so people are withdrawing every day, but the smart contract is still growing. What is that telling us? This is a strong contract. And remember, we were with that system, Queen, from 2011 to 2012. As best as we understand, based on documentation that we've seen, they had $800 million sitting in the banks. We ain't but at 15 or 16 million. Okay? We got a long way to go. Okay. All right. Okay. So, I'm gonna withdraw this at some point tonight, but I want to leave this up here so that you can see it. So look. All right. So here's the deal. So I did 20,000 times 3.1. See, so I'm going to earn until I earn 62,000. Now it says, hey, I've got remaining 29,470. Well, I've already withdrawn out 32,530. If I take this number and add it to this number here, the income withdrawn. So if I take the 310% income limit that remains and I add that to the income withdrawn to the wallet, that would equal my 62,000. Okay. So I'm going to keep earning on this contract until this goes to zero. Now, what happens when this goes to zero? Then I come back in and I make a new contribution. Now, with their system, the minimum new contribution is what you last contributed. With what we will be doing, when we make a new contribution, we will be doing at least double, sometimes even more than that. Okay, and the reason being is that's a good segue now. That's a good segue into Turbo. All right, so let's go into Turbo. I need to give you, I can tell you I started working on a written document. We'll still do video, but the written document will allow you to go through and conceptualize the numbers, see the numbers, understand the numbers. Plus, we have some folks that I know are hearing impaired, and so it would help them if they could read the information as well as watch a video or listen to a video, what have you. Okay. All right. So now here's what we're going to do. All right. So we're going to call this Turbo. All right. Now, so let's give you a couple of tenets of Turbo. Okay. The purpose of Turbo is what we want is we're going to have a main contract. All right. That's going to be, this main contract is the contract that you set up linked directly to your referrer. So if Queen is your referrer, you're setting up your main contract through her referral link. Okay? Now, what we're going to do here is with the main contract, this is going to be our income producing contract. Now, most of us will not cash out from this contract right away. But the whole goal is to get the main contract to a point that you're going to be able to not just withdraw, but cash out to where it produces a strong monthly residual income. Okay? Now, for most people, that's going to take just a little while to build it up. Think of it as having an asset. All right, I've got this asset. I want to grow it a little while, allow it to season for a little while, so that once I start cashing out, I'm cashing out consistently. And even what I'm cashing out becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, we're only early on, we're only ever going to cash out of the main contract. We're going to withdraw every day from the main contract and any of the subcontracts. What's a subcontract? A contract that your main contract referred. So you are in control of the subcontracts. Okay? That's basically you self-referred. Does the system allow it? Yes. Now, someone asked me earlier today, they saw a video and they said, hey, is this going to be a challenge? Because we saw the developer do a video, it was back in October, saying, hey, I can't tell you what to do, but some of you are stacking and, you know, the way you're doing it could wind up hurting the community. And I'm aware of what he said there, but that's not how we're doing this, all right? So I'll if I have time, I'll show you what he was talking about versus what we're doing. What we're doing is actually going to contribute to the community, okay? So we're going to have a main contract, all right? Now, I will tell you that in the document that I'm working on, I'm going to tell you up front that I want you to start with the end in mind. So some of you are going to be cool with a part-time income. Some of you are going to want a full-time income. What is a full-time income? Enough to cover all your monthly expenses. All right. So if you require $5,000 a month to, you know, take care of the mortgage and the car payment and all the miscellaneous stuff, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, ladies, all the stuff. All right. Then that would be a full-time income. That's something you're going to have to determine. And then some of you are going to want a life-changing income. $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000. That's life-changing income, okay? You'll have to determine where you want to be because that's going to determine how soon you're going to actually start looking to cash out. But for virtually all of us, initially, we want to build things for a little bit, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to have a main contract and we're going to have sub contracts. In time, you're not starting off with this unless you got a boatload of money that you are willing to commit to the platform. In time, I want you to have a minimum of 15 subcontracts. Now, let me tell you why that 15 is so important. Let's assume that you are a late bloomer when it comes to the whole referring side, okay? Maybe you've tried referring before. You've gotten, you know, some things didn't go well. Your name maybe got tarnished a little bit. You're just a little hesitant. I get that, okay? Here's how this matching bonus schedule works, okay? In order to qualify for the 30% matching daily income, you got to refer at least one person. And that qualifies you for the first generation. Well, guess what? We're not going to talk about so much referring people as we're going to talk about referring contracts. So when you refer your first subcontract, you're qualified for generation number one. When you ultimately refer your second contract, you're qualified for generation number two. When you qualify your 10th a contract, even if you've not referred any people, you're qualified for generation number 10. Now, why is this important? Because even if you start off taking an oath, raising your right hand, putting your left hand on the Bible, and swearing, I ain't telling nobody, about 2, 3, 4 months in, you will. Because you're going to start seeing the results, and they're going to begin to really accelerate about 3 or 4 months in. And you're going to have a hard time keeping that from people that you love. Or some of you are going to take a portion of that revenue that you'll begin generating, and you'll use that for marketing, traffic generation, all that other stuff. Okay? All right, so now, let's go. All right, so we're going to start off with a main contract, and we're going to start off with at least one subcontract, okay? All right, so that's tenant number. Now, our subcontracts, we are withdrawing every day, but we are not cashing out. The purpose of the subcontracts is to provide fuel for the main contract. So what will happen is you'll start off with your main and one sub, unless you're starting off with a lot of money, okay? If you're starting off with less than, give me a moment. Let me figure this out. If you're starting with less than $3,900 US, you will have one main contract, one subcontract. Now, if you're going to do like 10 grand in US dollars, you'll have a main contract and you'll have 2, maybe 3 subcontracts. But if you're less than $3,900, which I'm assuming that's where most people are going to be, less than that, you're going to have one main contract and one subcontract to start. Okay? So what's going to happen? Your main contract is going to earn 1% a day. Your subcontract is going to earn 1% a day. But when you withdraw every day from your subcontract, it's going to pay your main contract a 30% matching bonus. Now, we're not going to cash that out just yet. We're going to allow these contracts to accrue Tron so that ultimately we have enough to have a second subcontract. The second subcontract, however, will come strictly, unless you decide to do something different, will come from profits, not out of your pocket. Subcontract 3, subcontract 4, subcontract 7, subcontract 15 will come from your profits and not your pocket. Now, obviously, some of you, as you get into this and you feel more comfortable and maybe you have some other resources, you might decide to come out of pocket. But that's not what we're talking about. Everything I will talk about tonight as it relates to Turbo is going to assume, one, you never do more than your main and subcontract out of your pocket. 2, you never refer a soul. That any contracts that are referred are coming because you referred them. Meaning your main contract produced a subcontract from profits. Okay? Now, a couple other tenets we need to know, and then we'll get started here. We need to know, 1, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to determine your overall budget. Now, I know I have some of you that you're already in Tron Chain. Maybe you were part of our following before we introduced your strategy, and you already have a main contract. And you may not have what we want to have for your subcontract right now. That's okay. Start a subcontract with wherever you are, okay? Grab the concept because it's just going to be a matter of time before you can follow the concept in its entirety, follow the strategy in its entirety. Okay? All right, so I want you to determine your overall budget. All right, and you'll probably do that in US dollars or Euro dollars or what have you. Okay? So determine your overall budget. In this example, I'm going to use 1,000 US dollars. I'm not telling you to do 1,000 US dollars. Some of you will do more than that. Some of you won't even come close. And some of you won't come close because you're like, you know what, I did something not long ago, it didn't work out, and I'm not willing to make a big risk. Listen, I'm cool with that. You're never going to commit any resources that you're not willing to lose. If you can't afford to lose it, you can't afford to contribute it, okay? So determine your overall budget, okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this budget and we're going to divide it by the price of Tron. So Tron's it's been going between 2.5 and 2.7 cents for a minute. So I'm going to say 2.6, okay, cents, all right? So this is going to be, for the purposes of our example, by the way, everything that I'm talking to you is going to be in that written document as well. So you don't have to get all the numbers right now because it's going to be in front of you, okay? All right, so that's basically 38,461 Tron. Now, there's going to be some fees to go from fiat cash to maybe, in most cases, people are going to buy Bitcoin. They've got to buy Bitcoin, and then they'll convert Bitcoin into Tron. And so, you know, you might need to do a little more than 1,000 if that's what you want to do, just to kind of cover those fees. For nice rounder numbers, for easier numbers, I'm going to use, instead of 38,461, I'm going to use 37,500 Tron. Okay, 37,500. Okay. Now, here's the big part when it comes to what is the ratio with the main contract versus the subcontract. All right, with the main contract, what we want to have is a 1-to-2 ratio, meaning your main contract is basically 1/3 of your Tron allotment. Okay? And so that's identified by 0.333. That's your main contract. All right, your subcontract is 2/3. So here's your 1-to-2 of your TRX allotment. And that's identified by point. Now, it's like 3 6s, and my mom would not like that, so I'm going to say 0.667. Okay? This is going to be your first main contract. I'm sorry, your first sub contract. I'll just call it a sub. Okay? All right, so if I'm dealing with 37,500 for the purposes of, this is an example, all right? Yours can be higher, it can be lower. All right, I would take the 37,500 times 0.333, and that's 12,487. I'm just going to round that up to 12,500, okay? So I'm going to say that we're going to do, for the purposes of this example, main contract equals 12,500. Subcontract is going to be twice that, 25,000. Okay? All right. Got that? All right. So what would have happened is you would have gone through your referrer's referral link to do the main contract, 12,500. Now I have not done the video on this yet, so I've got to do this. So bear with me. So right now you're gathering information. Most of you are not going to execute just yet because you might need a video or two to show you how to do it. And I haven't had a chance to do that yet. That's something I will be working on over the next few days. Okay? Then what's going to happen is you're going to go to your main contract, get the referral link of your main contract, You're then going to log, well, you would have logged into your what we call Tron Link. That is a wallet for where you keep Tron. So when I sent out Jim Burrow 500 Tron a few minutes ago, all right, I went through my Tron Link, okay? Then you're going to set up your subcontract through the referral link of your main contract. And in this case, that would be 25,000. That's not dollars. This is Tron, TRX. All right, so I will probably forget to put TRX, and just for purposes of time. So when I say 12,500, I don't mean dollars. When I say 25,000, I don't mean dollars. I mean in Tron. Okay. All right. So now let's take a look at what would happen here. There's a few things that's going to be very important here. So number one, your main contract is going to get what? A 10% of the 25,000 or 2,500 Tron. Are you going to withdraw that? Yes. Are you going to cash that out right now? No. So where's it going to sit? It's either going to sit in your main contract, a wallet in your Tron Link, or some of you are going to use something like Exodus wallet, or some of you may use a hard wallet where basically your cryptocurrency assets are stored offline, okay? You're not going to cash it out yet because we're going to use this to ultimately help buy a new subcontract. What else has happened? Okay, I'm going to start from the bottom up. I'm going to start from the subcontract. So the sub at 1% a day equals 250 Tron a day. So the sub is going to get paid 1% a day. That's 250 Tron a day. What are you going to do? You're going to withdraw this out every day. Where does it go? It goes right into your Tron Link. You'll have in your Tron Link, you're going to have an account for your main contract. You're going to have an account for your subcontract. So you'll use the same Tron Link. All right, so here is my Tron Link. All right. Now, right now, this is my main contract. Next week, when we're on here, you'll see where I'll have subcontract number 1. And then in time subcontract, I'm going to actually set up these subcontracts in advance, and then I'll fund subcontract number 1. I'll probably do that on video, so you'll be able to see how all that works. And then in time, I'll have subcontract 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay? All right. Give me a moment. All right, so that's 250 Tron a day. Now, because you're going to withdraw out, in this example, that 250, this is going to generate for your main contract. For your main contract, you're going to get the match of 30%. So what was withdrawn out was, 250 Tron. So every day, 75 Tron. 250 times 0.3, 30%. So 75 Tron is going to go to your main contract every day. Why? Because you are withdrawing every day. Now, question, what happens if you did skip a day? 3 Tuesdays ago, no, I did not withdraw my Tron. I lost my wife. I didn't withdraw my Tron for a few days. Okay? This just accumulates, and then once I withdraw it out, the accumulated amount was withdrawn, and the accumulated match was paid out. The reason we want to withdraw it every day is a couple-fold. Number one, What it does is it brings us out of risk. Remember, whatever we commit, unless you decide down the road, and that would be completely optional, unless you decide down the road to add more from your pocket, that's totally on you. I'm not assuming you're going to do that, okay? So since this turbo strategy is designed where you only outlay this initial outlay and that's it, then what we want to do is we want to withdraw out. Now, we've not cashed it out yet, but at least we've withdrawn it from the system. And it's now sitting safely in our Tron wallets, okay? And this is a day. This is a day. Okay? So I'm going starting at number 2, I'm going from the bottom up. The sub 1% a day on the 25,000. The fact that the sub withdrew that 1% a day produced the 30% match going to the main contract. And then the main contract, 1% a day. Now, what is that? Well, on 12,500, that's 125 Tron a day. We're withdrawing that out. Not cashing it out, withdrawing it out. Okay. So, here's what we know. We ultimately want a second sub-contract, and we want to do 25,000 Tron with that second contract. So we can figure out that we're assuming we're not referring anybody. We're just referring self-referring contracts right now, okay? We can figure out almost to the day that we will have enough Tron where we will have 25,000 Tron to do a second contract. How do we do that? We take the 25,000 Tron, okay? We subtract out the fact that you've already gotten back 2,500. That came to your main contract. You withdrew that out. So now we need 22,500 Tron that we earn. Give me a moment. Sorry about that. That we earn over the next few days. Heaven Eliana, where are you? Okay, never mind. I was going to have her take my phone out. I don't really need it now that my son's here. All right. So how do we figure this out? Real simple. We know we're earning, your subcontract is earning 250 Tron a day. The match is 75 Tron a day. And your main contract's 1% is 125 Tron a day. You're earning 450 Tron a day. So all we got to do is say, okay, 450, 450, 450. I need 22,500 to go with this 2,500 to make a 25,000 Tron contract. And I'm getting 450 a day. In 50 days, I will have enough Tron between subcontract number 1 and main contract to where we can now do what? What do you think? What do you think? You're brilliant. Subcontract number 2. So in 50 days, you have enough profits to do subcontract number 2. Okay? All right. So now let's look at how this is going to work. Okay? So now what's going to happen is your main contract is going to get that 10% again. Who's referring subcontract number 2? It's not subcontract number 1. It's your main contract. It's your main contract. We're going wide first. In time, we may have some depth if you refer beyond 15 subcontracts, but right now we're going wide. That's healthier for the entire smart contract, one, and two, it allows you to qualify for the full 15 generations, because even if you don't think you're going to refer now, I promise you, as long as Tron Chain is around, and there's no reason why everybody couldn't follow this strategy, you're going to refer people in time, okay? So you're going to get the MC main contract 10%, so that's $2,500. Why? Because you did a $25,000 contract again, okay? So now we've got two subcontracts. We've got two subs at a total of 50,000 now. One is at 25, the second one is at 25. They're earning 1% or 500 a day. Now your matching bonus is more, because now you're getting a matching bonus. How did I do that? MC. So now your matching bonus is 30% of the 500 Tron that's been withdrawn, or 150. And then your main contract at 1% is still at 125 Tron a day. Let's make sure I've got my numbers right. I need to put my numbers out here. Okay, so we went from 250 Tron a day, because we only had one subcontract, to 500 Tron a day. We went from 75 Tron a day with our match to 150 Tron a day. Our 125 stayed the same. Why? Because we still are operating with a 12,500 contract. Okay? While this is happening, we're also eating away at our 310%, which we'll get to in just a few moments. Okay? Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say, okay, well, how long is it going to take for me now to do my third subcontract? Okay? Well, what's our third subcontract going to be? It's going to be $25,000. Pretty simple, right? It's not rocket science. It's going to be $25,000. Well, we're going to subtract out the $2,500 that you've already made on subcontract number 2 being formulated. You got 10% of $2,500. All right. So we got to come up with $22,500 again. We've seen this before. Nothing new now. The difference is we're making more per day, which means it's going to cut down on how long it takes to do the third contract. So here we go. We're doing 500 a day from the 1% from the 2 subs. We're doing 150 a day from the matching bonus. We're doing 125 from our main contract in this example. That's 775 Tron a day. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, well, how many days will it take for us to have enough to do subcontract number 3? So we're going to simply take, we need 22,500 divided by 775. 29.03 days. Let's assume you don't refer anyone, so let's say it takes 30 days. We went from 50 days to now 30 days because the subcontracts add fuel. Getting it? Okay? So now, let's call it 30 days because it was 29.03. You have enough for sub number 3. It's going to look the same. All right? Your main contract is going to refer sub 3. You're going to do another 25,000 contract there. There's 2,500. We've seen that before. Now you have 3 subs. 3 subcontracts at $25,000 apiece, a total of $75,000, earning 1% a day. That's 750 now, as opposed to 500. This is going to move your match up. I believe that's 225. Give me a moment. 750 times 0.3, 225. All right, yep, 225. And then you still have your 1% on your 12,500, so 125. Okay. All right, so how long is it now going to take to get this third contract? Wait a minute, give me a moment. This was hold on. This was my first contract. This was my second contract. Now we're going into this is our third contract, okay? All right? 30 days, you have enough for, oh, okay, I got it. I missed it. So it took 50 days to get the second contract in place. It took 30 days to get the third contract in place. With me so far? Okay. Now, how long will it take to get the fourth contract in place? Let's see. It's going to be 25,000, right? We're going to subtract out the 2,500, so we know we're going to be left with 22,500, right? So we're earning $750 a day from here. We're earning $225 from here. We're earning $125 from here. All right, 1,100 Tron. So how long does it take now to get that next contract? I didn't do something right, sorry. Divided by 1,100. 20 days. So we went from 50 days. We went from getting started to 50 days, no outside referrals, to be able to fund contract number 2. We funded the first subcontract the day that we did our main contract, at least for those who hadn't already done this. All right. For those of us who are just starting to employ this, you already have your main contract. You're going to be funding your subcontract. You want to get as close to that 1 to 2 as you can. If you can't get there because you just don't have the resources, get started with whatever you can. And then build up so that ultimately your second contract is twice what your main contract is. Okay? So now we've got the main and 4 contracts now. We now have the main and 4 subcontracts. Now, one thing we've got to do is we've got to start paying attention to the fact that we're going to be getting close to renewing the main contract, because we're going to be getting close to hitting that 310% threshold. Now, I hope I don't mess up the numbers on this, okay? I hope I don't mess up the numbers. I'm telling you now, I might. I did it for the first time today in that document. I'm still working on that document, okay? By the way, it took 20 days for contract number 4. 20 days from this last contract here, okay? All right. Now, what I want to do real quickly is I want to make sure I've got my numbers right. This is where I may mess up a little bit. All right, so here's what we need to know. So when we did the 12,500, we're going to earn until such time that we have made back 3.1 times that. So 12,500 times 3.1 is 38,750. Okay? I don't think we're going to get to that fourth contract. I think instead of that fourth contract, I think we set money aside to renew. I think that's what happened. So we're going to earn on this main contract until it's made back 38,750 Tron. Okay? So let's do this. Give me a moment. I'm going to put 38,750 Tron here. Okay? This is not what all the contracts have made. We're talking about what specifically the main contract has made. So let's go through the numbers here, okay? We know the main contract made $2,500 when it referred the first subcontract. So we're going to subtract out $2,500. Because what's going to happen is we're going to start eating away at this 310%, which is what we want to do, because that means that we've earned 3.1 times much, much quicker, okay? So when we made this $2,500 in the main contract, that reduces the total amount that we have left remaining in that contract in terms of being paid in that contract, okay? All right, what else do we know? We know that we've been earning, to the master contract, we've been earning 75 Tron a day and 125 Tron a day. And we've been earning that. I messed up my numbers. Give me a moment. Oh, never mind. I don't go up here. Never mind. This early on, this is going to go to buy these other contracts. I'm fine. I'm cool. Okay, here's where we need to go. Okay? Once we've done the third contract, so we're not going to get to the fourth one right now. We'll come back to the fourth. All right. Once we've done the third contract, we need to be paying attention to how much more time do we have to go to renew the main contract, okay? Sorry if I confuse you there, okay? So here's what we know. All these numbers up here have gone to help fund the other subcontracts. Now that we've got the 3 subcontracts in place, we're going to let things accrue until such time that we have enough and we're ready to renew the main contract. So let's look at the number of days that we've been in so far. Give me a moment. It took 50 days to get here. It took 30 days to get here. So that's 80. Crapola, I'm missing something. Those are not. Give me a moment. Let me look at the document that I'm working on. I haven't finished it yet. Give me a moment. I'm off screen right now for just a minute. I may go to this document because I have the numbers here. Bear with me. Let me just skim over the document. I'm still here. Just bear with me. Okay. Here's the map outside of referrals. Give me a moment, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I do apologize for this. Have you got that? Got that. Got that. You have 2 subs. Then you have 3 subs. Okay. All right, here we go. Now, this is not pretty or anything like that, okay? After we've created the third sub, what's your name? Okay, here we go. All right. So if we haven't referred to anyone else, we haven't gotten any commissions outside of what we have been self-referring, okay? So this is going to change if you refer other folks, but you'll have, by that time, you'll have the strategy down, and you'll be able to know what you need to do to follow what we're doing here. Okay, so we've got the main contract. We've got 3 subcontracts, okay? Now, instead of looking to fund subcontract number 4, we're going to hold off on that. And the reason being is we're going to be coming up on contract renewal of the main contract. The subs, because they're not receiving anything other than their 1% a day, those are going to take 310 days before they renew. But the main contract is going to renew much sooner than that. Excuse me, let me get some water. Okay, so once we have the third contract, we're still going to be withdrawing every day and accruing, but instead of looking to fund a 4th contract, we're going to look to renew the main contract once it's up for renewal and upgrade the main contract, meaning where we were at $12,500, we're going to upgrade that so that we have more than $12,500 in the main contract. Why? Because the overall goal is to get to the point, Andrew, where your main contract is now big enough that your 1% a day from the main contract is hitting your monthly income target in cash out a bowl income. Not just I withdrew it from Tron Chain, but I withdrew it from Tron Chain and now I converted it into usable, spendable cash. So in time, we want that main contract to go from 12,000 to 50,000 to 100,000 to 1,000,000 Tron. Imagine in time if you had 1,000,000 Tron in the main contract and you were earning 1% a day on that, or 10,000 Tron, and you did that over 30 days, and that's at 0.26 cents, that's $7,800 a month. So we're using the subcontracts to fuel, to turbocharge the main contract. And the reason this approach is great for the smart contract is because we're not cashing out from the subs. We're only cashing out from the main. And when our subcontracts are up, we're going to renew those. And as a matter of fact, not only will we renew those, we're going to increase those as well. So when we come back in those, we're going to contribute a higher amount than what we started off with. But all those contributions are going to be coming from profits and not your pocket. All right, so follow me here. Follow me here, okay? Tell you what, let's make this bigger. Let's just make all this bigger real quickly so you can see it clearly. I want to take you through when we renew our main contract, and then I want to show you that once we do that, how much quicker it's going to be to add subcontract 4, subcontract 5, subcontract 6, subcontract 7. I mean, it's going to go really fast. It takes a little while. It takes 50 days to get that second subcontract. Then from there, it takes another 30 days. Then from there, it takes another. But then once we're in this thing for just a little bit, it starts to snow. It starts to snowball. Let's see, where are we here? 2,500. 2,500. 2 subs. We need to get down to 3 subs. There we go, 3 subs. Okay, so we have to be mindful that our main contract will be coming up for renewal. So we're actually going to use this funding to upgrade our main contract when the time comes. So we've got the main and 3 subs, main and 3 subs, main and 3 subs. We're not going to do the 4th sub right away. We're going to take the revenue from the main and 3 subs and use that to renew when it's time to renew and to upgrade. Okay? So in this example, we would have been in for 99 days total. And I go through all the numbers here. I won't do all of that just for time. You'll have this document sometime next week, okay? All right, so bear with me, see if I want to cover that, We go through all of, what your matching commission would have been from subcontract number 1, what it would have been from subcontract number 2, so on and so forth. Suffice it to say that if you had no referrals, okay, other than you referring your subcontracts, it would take 117 days from the time you started, this strategy. It would take 117 days for you to renew. But in our renewal, all right, so in roughly 170 days, there would be the following. You'd have the 3 subcontracts, but you would have now renewed your main contract. But you would have renewed it for a much higher amount. We started the main in this example with $12,500. Now, of course, your numbers are going to be different because not everybody's going to start off with $12,500 on the main and $25,000 on the sub. It's the concept I want you to get. If you didn't refer anyone, you could look at this document and say, okay, by day 117, I should be at the point where I am renewing my main contract, and I'm renewing it for much more than what it started with. So what wound up happening here is we renewed the main contract at $46,800. We first started off with $12,500. Now the main contract is $46,800, and that starts to change the numbers again. Why? Because now you're getting 1% a day on $46,800, which is 468 Tron a day, versus 1% a day on $12,500, which is 125. And so what starts to happen, I'm going to do this kind of fast. Don't worry about it. Don't have to get all the numbers. I want you to get the concept. That's the concept I want you to get. And here's what you should be getting. Main contract, subcontract, double my main contract. I hadn't told a soul in 50 days I've got enough to do a second subcontract. And then 30 days after that, I've got enough to do a third subcontract. And then about day 117, I've got enough. It's time for me to renew. And I've got enough not only to renew, but to increase the main contract significantly. And then after that, it's going to take roughly 18 days after my contract renewal to have enough to do my 4th subcontract. And then after that, it's going to take about 13 days to do the 5th subcontract. And then after that, it's going to take about 11 days to do the 6th contract. Give me a moment. I saw an error. And then after that, it's going to take about 9.3 days, we'll call it 10 days to do the 7th contract. And then after that, it's going to take about, are you getting the point? And ultimately, you're going to have, if you follow the turbo, 15 self-referred subcontracts. And when it's time to renew the main contract again, you're going to renew it, and it's going to be at a higher amount, so that you'll go from, like in this example, like 46, almost 47,000 to like 90-some thousand. And then so what's going to happen is when we renew that main contract, we're going to be renewing it at least at twice what the last contract was, but it's going to take shorter time to renew those main contracts. It took 117 days the first time. It's going to take far less the second time. It's going to take far less the third time, far less the fourth time. So if you just think about this, let's say we did this. You had 12,500, okay? And then when you renewed it, I think, according to these numbers, it wound up being 46,800 on the main contract. And let's say we just double the main contract each time thereafter. Then it's 93,600. And then it doubles. All right, then it doubles. Then it doubles. Let's say you're at this point and you're saying, you know what? What is 1% of that? 74.88 times 30. 224 times 2.6 cents. Man, that's $5,800 a month. Okay, I'm taking out a $5,800 a month income. And I'm telling you what's going to happen. What's going to happen, you might have put your left hand on the Bible and you raised your right hand and you said, I do solemnly, I can't even say it. You know what I'm saying. Some of you won't swear, so you say, I affirm with all my heart. I ain't going to tell nobody. I ain't telling nobody nothing. And then you start seeing this happening. And some of you, what you're going to do is you're going to go, like we already had, one of our folks did this. They had their brother who made a decent sized contribution, and they decided, just, it's a loved one, I'll manage everything for you. Well, that's cool. It's not going to take you long just to go in and withdraw every day. But in time, they're going to have 15 contracts too. And all that's going to still be feeding up to you. See, right now with your subcontracts, you're getting 30% matching bonus every single day. You refer John, he does the same. His main contract pays you 30%. But all those subcontracts in time he's going to have 15 if he follows what we teach at least. He's going to be making 10%. You're going to make it 10% from there. And you imagine John tells Mary, and you're getting 10% on all of Mary's. 15 contracts at least. 15 contracts at least. 15 contracts. Do you understand what's going to happen? Listen, this is going to happen with us or without us. It's already happening. They're already paying out over $1 million a day. All right, so I'm going to stop there. I know I gave you a lot of numbers. I know for some people the numbers will have your head swirling. That's why I'm doing this document, so that you can go, once you get it, you'll get it. I mean, because it starts to go really fast. I mean, once you get it, you start seeing the pattern. You start seeing the pattern. Okay, it takes 9 days. Takes 9 days to have enough to fund sub number 8. Then it takes 8 days to fund subcontract number 9. Then it takes like 7 days. So we got to get it started. Takes a little bit to get it started, 50 days before we get that second subcontract. Unless you refer others, then it can happen quicker than that, okay? But I'm assuming that you haven't referred anybody up to this point, and hopefully that gives you some hope. Let me stop there. 15 minutes of Q&A. If you have questions, going to put those in your questions box. Queen, if you would unmute me. I need you to keep me to 15 minutes because my daughter should be in the bed, but she's down here with me. Heaven Eliana, have you brushed your teeth yet? Hold on. Huh? All right. That's all you have to do is brush your teeth? Okay, go on and feed the piggies and then brush your teeth. And by the time you do that, I should be close. Queen, the center of my daughter's universe are her 2 guinea pigs. And I didn't really care too much for those little rugrats, those little rodents. But they're such a source of comfort for her, so I won't tell her this, but I think I love them now. Shh, 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 shh. Before I kept talking about getting a python. No, Dan, no. You know. No, Dan. I think I love them. I think I love them now because they're providing such comfort.
They keep her on an even keel.
Exactly. All right. First question, Queen.
How do I get started?
Great question. Okay. So we have and you may already, I don't know who asked that, but you all may already have our portal. We've got a portal called the Cash Flow Club. Let me pull that up real quickly. Now, many of you that are on here, you have our portal. It maybe was named something else sometime else. Okay, so give me a moment. The Cash Flow Club. Queen, remind me. I want to make a withdrawal on screen. I forgot. All right, I want to make a withdrawal on screen. Okay. All right. Now, I will tell you that I've got work to do over these next few days to change some content. So we're eventually going to have everything that we've discussed is going to be on this homepage. It's not there yet. It'll probably be amongst like maybe 3 modules or what have you. We'll do what is Tron Chain, show people why we believe Tron Chain is going to be here for the long haul, kind of explain Tron Chain. Then there's going to be a module going into the Turbo. We'll probably have a couple of modules for Turbo. And so the first thing you want to do is you want to get our portal, because the other thing that we've got to do is we've got to make sure that you know how to go from, let's say, Bitcoin to Tron, and you know how to set up your Tron wallets and all that stuff. All right. Now, we've got some of that content back here under where it says every day can be payday. All right. But over the coming days, you're going to see a lot more content coming to place. Also, this is where your referrer will have his or her referrer's link is in our portal. How much is our portal? It's absolutely free. What did that cost you? Free. How much was that? It was free. Okay. Now, if you have followed us in the past, you know my voice, you know Queen's voice, you've been on some webinars maybe in the past, maybe haven't been around in a while, okay? I'm going to want you to send an email to admin at the cashflowclub.info. Notice the .info. Tell us your name and email address. It's likely that you may already be in our portal, and then we'll just make sure that you have your login details to come inside of the portal. Most of our training about this is going to wind up being in the portal, and then when you, obviously you're here, so you must be likely a part of one of our email lists, okay? So we'll let you know when we've loaded up new training content and what have you, okay? Now, if you are not in our portal, and let's say John, Mary, Susan referred you, then it's likely that they have our portal or they'll be getting it. There might be some folks that are in Tron Chain that's starting to follow our messaging. So, either send us the email with your name and your email address so we can look you up and or get back with John, Mary, or Susan, whoever referred you. We always want to make sure that you're linking arms with the person that got you to our following. Okay, never want to take anybody's referral credit. Next question. Sorry about that. Go on, Queen.
Give me a moment.
Okay.
video for how to set up your wallets?
The video on how to the video on how to initially set up TronLink is already in place. What we've got to do a video on is how to go in and let's say you've got your main contract, but now you need to set up subcontract number 1 and name it as such so it's easy for you to go in and do your withdrawals and what have you. That likely won't be up until the first of next week, Monday or Tuesday, okay? I'm still in a huge adjustment mode, which means I have to do a lot of things I didn't used to have to do, like, Queen, I have to cook. Queen, I got to... Oh, yeah. Actually, the other day was really good. I mean, even what I did this morning was good. It was really good. It was just, stuff that I hadn't, done in a minute. So Monday or Tuesday is when we'll have that. We will definitely let you know. That's a top priority, okay? Because the only thing that's keeping some of you from starting off subcontract number 1 is that training. So just bear with us. But first part of the week, that's a priority. It's got to be done. By the way, when you come into our portal, make sure you join our Telegram group. We send out emails periodically throughout the week. Sometimes people don't get those emails. But we always post the same email in the Telegram group. Some people get that when maybe they have a problem getting their emails if our email went to their spam or what have you. Next question.
Can I add Tron to my main, to the one I started with?
I've
already started a Tron Chain.
Okay.
Add to it.
Okay. You can't add to the existing contract or the main contract until you hit your 310. But what you can do is you can set up a subcontract. So, Queen, one of my initial issues with Tron Chain, the only thing I didn't like about Tron Chain, was I didn't like the fact that you could not, quote unquote, compound. Well, you are essentially doing that with these subcontracts. In other words, instead of having one main contract where everything is just in that contract, you're breaking it down with the 1-to-2 ratio, and you've got the subcontract, and it takes a few days, but after 50 days, if you hadn't referred anybody else, so you hadn't gotten any additional referral commissions, okay, you have enough accumulated where you can now do the second contract. That's basically compounding. You took profits and you recontributed it in the form of a second contract. That's basically compounding. And then, Queen, as you go further down the road, all right, about 3-4 months in, particularly like 4 months in or so, then you're talking like you saw on that quick document, in 9 days, you were adding another contract. Then in 8 days, you were adding another contract. So basically you were at the point where you were essentially compounding. So yes, with your existing contract, you can't add to it. All right. So Queen, this is a nice segue. I need to withdraw some Tron here. All right. So look, here's my existing contract. Right. I've got 29,470 Tron to go before this 20,000 Tron contract is complete. So I had a 20,000 Tron contract. That's going to earn 3 times 0.1 or 62,000 Tron. All right. I've already withdrawn. Look at this. I've withdrawn 32,530. That leaves me to 29,470. Okay. Now, I have some Tron to withdraw now. I've got my 1% that hit about midnight this morning. I didn't withdraw it throughout the day because I wanted to do it on screen. I've got 5,000 Tron in direct referral income. So someone or some ones that I referred, they did contracts and I got paid 10%. And I've got 876 Tron in matching bonuses or matching commissions where folks in our referral network, they withdrew, and so that generated that. So, Queen, I've got 6,076 in withdrawable Tron. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to withdraw this right on screen, and you're going to see that my 310 is going to be reduced by that 6,076. So minus 6,076. So that this right here is going to be reduced to 23,394. All right. So, Queen, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to click withdraw. This is only going to take a couple of seconds here. I accept. This is going to zero out in just a moment. That's going to zero out. That's going to zero out. There you go. That zeroed out. And now you can see, in that what I just calculated, you see what I have left? All right. Now, I'm going to go to my Tron wallet, my Tron link. And I hope the webinar pane's not in the way. You can see there's that 6,076 Tron that I withdrew. Okay. Now I'm not gonna cash this out. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna use this. Well, on screen. All right. I've done the main contract. Did that a few weeks ago. All right. I'm gonna do a recording. It may get done tomorrow or first of next week or what have you. Well, I'm going to do the subcontract. My subcontract is going to be 40,000 Tron. You see, I've got 40,000 Tron there for it. And when I do that 40,000 Tron, all right, I'm going to record it because what you're going to see is me doing the 40,000 Tron, and then I'm going to come back to the main contract, and you're going to see that when I do the 40,000 Tron, the main contract is going to get 10%. Or 4,000 Tron, you're going to see that show up, and then you're going to see me withdraw that too. And then from there, my 40,000 Tron contract is going to pay out 1% a day, or 400 Tron. When I withdraw that, my main contract is going to get 30%, or 120 Tron a day. And we will periodically do stuff like that on screen. So that's going to be part of the content, Queen, that you're going to be able to give away so people can actually see, wow. And so can you imagine 3 months from now, 4 months from now, when we're able to show, okay, we've been doing this turbo strategy for 4 months, and, you know, we started off with 20, then we did the 40. We do have some referral commissions also coming in because we're building a referral network, but now look at what's happening. Look at what's happening. Look at what's happening. Next question. All right, ladies and gentlemen, any questions that we didn't get to, send it here, admin@thecashflowclub.info. If you have not logged into our portal in a while, you may go to the portal and attempt to log in, and you might get something that says that you've been suspended. That just simply means that you haven't logged in for a while. Send us an email. Hey, looks like I'm suspended, or I forgot my login details, or what have you. Just make sure you give us your name and your email address. And we'll, if you're in our database, we'll locate you, and we'll send you your login details. What I want you thinking is, what's your budget going to be? All right, what's your budget going to be? If you're my newbies, what's your budget? Okay. If you're my existing folks that already have Tron, I'm sorry, you already have a main contract, will you have enough resources to 2 times that for a subcontract? If not, get as close to it as you can. Get as close to it as you can. Nobody's going to judge you, all right? If you did 10,000 on your main contract and you're only comfortable doing 200 on your subcontract, it's just going to take a little bit longer, but it's the same concept, okay? Same concept. And then what you can obviously do is you can take profits from both and look to ultimately do a second contract that would be in that 1-to-2 ratio. All right? All right, so Queen's kicking me off. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for your continued thoughts, love, support, and prayers. We really, really, really appreciate it. Queen, today, gosh,
Yes.
I had a decent yesterday. I had a pretty good yesterday. Tuesday was rough. Then yesterday was pretty good. And then today was pretty good up until about 1 o'clock. And then, Queen, like every half hour, I'm breaking down. I'm snotting and carrying on. Gosh, I miss that woman.
You do what you have to do,
Yeah.
and you just keep moving on.
Yeah. Gosh, I miss her, Queen. I miss her. But
I miss her.
she's
I
at
see her every day.
she's at rest. That's the important thing. That's the important thing. All right, love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. Every day can be what, Queen?
It could be payday, Professor.
Good night, everyone.